Okay, I have my MacBook Pro ready. I have my iPhone 6s Plus ready, and just for good measure, I have my iPad Air 2 ready. There's also another product just behind me there, but we won't spend too long looking just over there. We will move on to today's video, which is a continuation from yesterday's video, where I discussed with you my initial impressions of the new products that have been announced by Apple. Now in today's video I want to go a little bit more in depth, also reveal to you which products I'll be getting into the studio to actually test and review on the Geekanoids channel. And I also got some questions in via Twitter and on the comment section on yesterday's video, which I'll answer today as well. Now if you haven't seen that initial impressions video, please do check out the link. It's just down there in this video's description. Now the first product I want to discuss is the announcement of the new iPhone SE. Now for those of you who follow along on the various rumour websites, we knew this was coming. The rumours were correct, and Apple did launch a new 4-inch iPhone called the iPhone SE. And they said that they'd done their market research, and that had revealed that a lot of people still do like smaller smartphones. Now I do agree with their research. A lot of people see my iPhone 6s Plus and they say, Dave, how can you carry around such a large smartphone? And indeed a lot of them look at the iPhone 6s and even that's too large for them. And there's a big market where people are looking at the entry-level and mid-level Google Android smartphones, and no longer do they have to do that. If they want an iPhone, they can in fact now order an iPhone 4 SE. They can't quite yet, they have to wait just a couple more days, but 24th of March this goes on sale, and then they're going to be shipping and available in store 31st of March 2016. Now it's available in silver, gold, space grey and rose gold. It has got a 4-inch screen, as I mentioned, with an 1136 by 640 resolution. That's 326 ppi, 800:1 contrast ratio, a nice bright screen as well, and it also has the A9 processor inside. They've also put in it a 12 megapixel iSight camera, and that's capable of capturing really nice photos and of course 4K video as well. Now they mentioned it also supports live photos, and I'm pretty sure in yesterday's video I said that it could support force touch, so the screen would support you pressing a little bit harder on the screen to make the live photos come to life. There's no mention in the specifications page on the Apple website that force touch is supported, so I would say we'll have to read that it's not. They did include Touch ID, so you can unlock your iPhone SE with the Touch ID fingerprint sensor down here on the home button, so that's really great. And the rest of the specifications are really brought up to date, so you're more or less getting an iPhone 6s and an iPhone 6s Plus specification, but in a smaller package. And the design is reminiscent of the iPhone 5 and iPhone 5s. So it sounds like a very, very good device. Now I got a question in from Lars de Jong. Are you buying the new iPhone SE? I won't be getting one in to review on the channel. It doesn't interest me personally because I prefer the larger iPhone 6s Plus. In fact, since I switched up to this larger iPhone, I don't think I'll ever go back down to a smaller size smartphone. I've got used to it, it's easily pocketable, and the iPhone SE just isn't for me. So in answer to your question, and part of the reveal is I won't be getting an iPhone SE to review on the channel. Now back to the actual device, I think it's going to sell very well. I think it's very reasonably priced as well. And for those people who want a smaller smartphone, it's definitely worth considering. So anyway, let's move on. They also announced some new software coming out for the Apple TV. Now the new generation Apple TV I did have in to review. I found that I personally, in my use case scenario, I didn't use it, so I didn't keep the new Apple TV. So this is of minimal interest to me, but I can see the way they're progressing with a very app-orientated sort of system where content lives within its own apps. and gaming as well is supported very nicely on the new Apple TV. So I think it's got a really good future, and I might explore it again personally in the future as well, but for now it's not for me. So enjoy your new Apple TV OS. I think it's version 2 coming out or available already. Now the Apple Watch, they didn't announce new Apple Watches. That'll come probably later in the year, maybe October, or maybe it might even be in 2017. Tim Cook mentioned that the next announcement or next product announcements will actually take place in the new Apple campus, which is being readied for 2017. There might be some quiet announcements between now and then, but certainly with regards to the Apple Watch, all they announced was a price drop. So it's going down by, I think it was $50, or it might be a little bit more, but there's definitely a price drop across the board, and that's very welcome. And they also announced some new watch straps as well. Now I've been scanning through the various combinations, and there's some new sport bands. There's a yellow one available, there's an apricot colour one available, and there's also a royal blue one available. Now there's also some new woven nylon bands available, and these look really very nice indeed. There's a scuba blue woven nylon, there's a pink, there is also a royal blue, and then there's also a gold royal blue combination. Now I actually spoke to somebody at Apple about this particular colour of band, and they said this is the nicest choice because you can reverse it. Now I'm not sure if you can, but they said you can either have it with the gold side showing, which is like a gold orangey colour, or you can switch it around to have the royal blue side showing. So I'm going to get one of those in actually, and I'll share my opinion of that with you on the channel. Something else I noticed is that with the gold coloured Apple Sport watches, you get them with a woven nylon band, and you can actually see that there is gold hardware on, so the actual buckle's gold and the little connectors are gold. When you're buying those particular colours of watch bands separately, they come with silver hardware. So the only way to get these nylon bands with gold hardware is to buy them with a gold coloured Apple Watch. So bear that in mind when you're placing your orders. Now they also announced a black woven nylon as well, and a whole range of different leather colours. So they're really trying to sort of just regenerate some interest in the current Apple Watch. And of course we've got new Apple Watch OS version 2 as well announced. So it's looking really good. Very sort of good announcements, and a nice little sort of teaser sort of product for the Apple Watch owners out there. So stay tuned, I will be covering one of the current generation Apple Watches and one of the new woven nylon bands. Now the big announcement was of course the new iPad, which is why I've got this here. This is an iPad Air 2. They didn't announce an iPad Air 3. Indeed, they announced an iPad Pro 9.7 inch version. So a smaller iPad Pro, and the reason they gave it that Pro name is because all of the specifications either match the larger iPad Pro, or indeed with some of the specs they actually exceed the performance of the current larger iPad Pro. Now we've got 12 megapixel camera, 4K video capture, is available in silver, space grey, gold and rose gold, and we've got a new 256 gigabyte version, so you can get 32 gigabyte storage, 128 gigabyte or 256 gigabyte. The larger iPad Pro also gets that 256 gigabyte storage option. Now the things that set this apart from the larger one is the display. It's got what they're calling a true tone display, and that's got two color temperature light sensors in it, which adjust the screen display dependent upon the ambient light around you. So if you go into daylight, it's going to become like a bluer temperature, and if you come into a room with standard sort of lighting which gives off a yellowish hue, then the iPad display will sort of change to take that into effect so that it still appears white to the human eye. So really a great technology that they've included in this new smaller iPad Pro. Now somebody actually asked some questions about the iPad Pro as well. We've got one here from Scott Smith, who asks why the high spec camera in the new iPad Pro? Who really takes photos or videos on their iPad? It was a really good question. I personally don't take photos on my iPad. I take them on my iPhone or on a compact camera or on a larger interchangeable lens camera. But people do have one device and people do take photos on their iPad. And the fact that you can now capture 4K video on the smaller iPad Pro, I think is a fantastic thing. It means that you're going to be able to capture video and edit it and distribute it all on the one device. And I think that is a really powerful package. So I think that's why they included that on the iPad Pro. I also mentioned in yesterday's video about the iPad Pro possibly cannibalizing sales on the MacBook line. And I didn't mean the whole MacBook line. Michael mentioned replacing the MacBook line, not quite yet, unless it can run Final Cut Pro 10. Now you're right, I didn't mean it's going to replace the complete MacBook line, including the MacBook Pros. I was really looking at the 12-inch MacBook, so the lower specification, the cheapest MacBook that Apple currently sell. Will the iPad Pro 9.7-inch and the larger one start to cannibalize sales of this, because it's a more than capable machine? Don't forget you can put it onto a keyboard case. It's got that smart connector, so that's very easy to do. So you can type quickly, you can produce documents, you can do business work on it. And then when it comes to actually editing video, it's more than capable of editing 4K video. Of course, it's not going to be a professional solution to video editing. People are still going to have their MacBook Pros to do that, and they're still going to have their desktop computers, be them an iMac or an actual Mac Pro, to edit serious video projects. But for people that are just capturing video and doing short projects and then wanting to share it, this is now more than capable of capturing in 4K resolution and editing it and distributing it all from the one device. So I think this could cannibalize sales of the MacBook. And then don't forget, you can detach it from the keyboard or from the keyboard case and use it as a tablet, so you're getting much greater value for money. For me, I would still buy the MacBook, because I do a lot of video editing, and I think it would possibly be, in the new iteration that we're expecting soon, a lot more capable device. So a great product in the iPad Pro, and I think it's a really good announcement from Apple. Now, I've got a couple more questions here before I just talk to you about what I'm exactly getting into the studio. I've got one here from Twitter. Has the iPhone SE got Force Touch? Well, as I discussed earlier, I thought it did, but in hindsight, it's not on the spec sheet, so we're going to take it as read that it hasn't. And also, Colm Malone says, I was thinking of getting my wife the new iPhone SE. Battery life will probably be an issue once again. More processing power, but with the smaller battery. That is a very, very good point. It could be an issue, but Apple are very good at managing battery life, because not only do they control the hardware on the devices, but also they control the software. So I think you'll probably be okay. You might see a slight drop in battery life from what you're expecting, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, but I still think it'll be good enough to get you through a whole day. So now let's move on to what I'll actually be getting into the studio to test. Now, I mentioned earlier on in this video I won't be getting the iPhone SE in. I will be getting one of the existing generation of Apple Watches in again. Yes, I have covered it before, but I'll be showing you that alongside one of the new woven nylon bands. I think that's very important to take a look at that, and I'll give you my opinion about the quality and if I think they're actually worth the asking price. I will also be getting in the new iPad Pro in the 9.7-inch version, and I'll be getting in the Apple Pencil again, because I've already covered that on the channel, but I'll also be getting the smaller 9.7-inch smart keyboard case to review alongside the iPad Pro. I also think that this new smaller iPad Pro, which will replace my iPad Air 2, will be a keeper, and I will of course be testing the new software that's available for both the Apple Watch, for the iPhone, which I have already installed, and it is fantastic. It has this new, let me just get it up on my screen, it's in display and brightness, and it's called Night Shift. And what it does, and I'll show you this straight away, is it actually gives you a different color spectrum on the display. so it goes to a more yellow hue, which is meant to be better for when you're using this in a dark room. It's also meant to be better for you if you're looking at your screen just before you go to bed. So rather than it being this sort of brighter blue tint to the screen. And you can either set that manually with the little toggle switch, or you can have it come on at a certain time. I digress. So anyway, I've started testing the new OS on the Apple iPhone there. I will also be testing the new operating system macOS 10 on my MacBook Pro, which is here with a piece of paper on with some notes. And that is it. That concludes today's video. And you know, I've had to do this video all without an internet connection because my current broadband connection is down, it's not working, so I haven't been able to give you up-to-date prices, but you can get all of those on the Apple website. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to my opinion. I really do appreciate you sitting through quite a lengthy video. Let me know what your opinions are about the new Apple products and about the new software features as well in the comment section below. And I'll see you again soon in another video.